Chapter 3 The Beast. It was 10 the next morning, before the merchant awoke. As he rose, he was astonished to see a good suit of clothes laid out on the bed that would fit him perfectly. This palace must belong to some kind fairy, he thought, who has seen and pitied my distress. He then returned to the great hall, where he had supped the night before, and found a mug of hot chocolate ready made on a little table. "Thank you, good Madam Fairy," he said aloud, "for being so careful as to provide me a breakfast. I am extremely obliged to you for all your favors." The good man drank his chocolate and then went to look for his horse. Passing through an arbor of roses, he remembered Beauty's request to him and gathered one from a branch on which were several. Immediately, he heard a great crash like thunder. Spinning around, there loomed a huge monster with two tusks in his mouth, fiery red eyes surrounded by bristles, and horns coming out of its head and spreading over its back. The beast roared, "Mortal, who said you can pluck my rose?" "Please, sir," said the merchant in fear and terror for his life, "I promised my daughter to bring her home a rose and forgot about it till the last moment. Then I saw your beautiful garden and thought you'd not miss a single rose, or else I would have asked your permission." "You are a thief," boomed the beast. "You must give your life for this crime." The merchant fell on his knees and begged for his life for the sake of his 3 daughters, who had none but he to support them. "My lord," he said, "I beseech you to forgive me. Indeed, I had no intention to offend in gathering a rose for one of my daughters, who asked only for that from my travels." "You say you have daughters," replied the monster. "I will forgive you on one condition, that one of them comes willingly to suffer in your place. Swear that if any of your daughters refuses to come, you will return here in 3 months yourself and face your fate." So the merchant swore. Taking his rose, he mounted his horse and rode home. As soon as he got into his house, his daughters came rushing round to greet him, clapping their hands and showing their joy in every way. He gave the necklace to his eldest daughter, the gold chain to his second daughter, and then the rose to his youngest. As he gave it, he sighed. "Oh, thank you, father," they all cried. But the youngest added, "Father, why did you sigh so deeply when you gave me the rose?" "Oh, it is nothing," said the merchant. But Beauty wondered. For several days they lived happily together. Only Beauty noticed that her father would often stare out the window, gloomy and sad. When she approached him and asked what was the matter, he would refuse to say. Nothing she could do to cheer him up. After begging him over and over to share what was on his mind, at last he gathered together his 3 daughters and related to them his fatal adventure. Immediately, the 2 eldest sat up, blaming poor Beauty, and said all manner of ill-natured things to her, He gathered together his 3 daughters and relayed to them his fatal adventure. Beauty spoke. Since the monster will accept one of his daughters, she said, I will deliver myself up to all his fury. I am happy in knowing that my death will save my father's life and be a proof of my tender love for him. Beauty, I am charmed with your kind and generous offer, said the merchant. But I cannot let you do this. I am old and have not long to live. I will lose only a few years at the most. It was the rouge I asked for that was the cause of your undoing, said Beauty. You will not go to the palace without me, and you cannot stop me from following you. Indeed, she made all the necessary preparations for herself. Her sisters were secretly delighted at the prospect of getting rid of her once and for all.